anti-hyperlipidemic. Okay, see, this is the major threat which is being faced by world now. Hyperlipidemia. Hyper means excess, lipids, emia means blood. In the blood, when lipid levels are more, that condition is called as hyperlipidemia. Now, what is the problem with this? Till now, we have seen angina pectoris, myocardial infarction, congestive heart. All of them, it all starts with a condition called as coronary artery disease. What happens in coronary artery disease? In that disease, narrowing of coronary blood vessels occurs. Yes, any doubt is there? If you don't have any doubt, please mute your microphone. Okay. So all the diseases, the major diseases like angina pectoris, congestive heart failure, starts with coronary artery disease. What is this coronary artery disease? Coronary blood vessels will supply oxygenated blood to myocardium. Now, when narrowing of this coronary blood vessels occurs, the blood supply to the heart is reduced. So narrowing of coronary blood vessels is known as coronary artery disease. What happens with this? Decreased amount of blood reaches to that is called as ischemia. Now, ischemia causes angina pain. If it continues, results in myocardial ischemia, heart attack, and then it goes with necrosis and results in congestive heart. So the major culprit for whether ischemic disease, angina pectoris, myocardial infection, congestive heart failure. For all of them, the major culprit is coronary artery disease. Now, in coronary artery disease, narrowing of blood vessel. Why that narrowing of blood vessel occurs? Because lipids are getting accumulated in this coronary blood vessel. So the major problem comes from here, lipids. Let me explain a common calorific effect. In general, human beings need, every day we need certain amount of food to run our body because the metabolic demands require certain amount of fuel molecules which will generate ATP. On an average, man needs 2000 kilocalories of energy per day. Now, if the intake is less than 2000 kilocalories, requirement is 2000. If they are taking less than that, it results in malnourishment and weakness. They are not taking enough food. Enough calories are not coming to the body. Weakness will be there. What happens if they are taking more than what is required? You need 2000 kilocalories, but you are taking 3000 kilocalories or 2500 kilocalories. What happens to that? The excessive kilocalorie food, the excessive calories will get converted into lipids, adipose. The problem is this: when someone is obese, people will suggest him not to eat sweets. Chemically, sweets are carbohydrates. You might have studied in biochemistry. Chemically, sweets are carbohydrates. What is adipose? It is lipid. You have a problem with lipid, but you are suggested not to take carbohydrates. What is the relationship? The relationship is when you take too much of carbohydrates, whatever the energy requirement is there, it goes with metabolic cycles. The excess carbohydrate is converted to lipid. This is the dangerous thing. You know, carbohydrates will be digested to give glucose. Glucose undergoes glycolysis to give pyruvate. Pyruvate is converted to acetyl-CoA. When body needs energy, acetyl-CoA gets into citric acid cycle. In mitochondria oxidative phosphorylation, ATP is released. If you have already enough energy is there, this acetyl-CoA will not sit right. It is converted to fatty acid. This is the problem. So when you take too much of carbohydrates, problem is obesity. And these lipids are the reason for coronary artery disease, ischemia, myocardial infarction, angina pectoris, congestive heart. All of them starts with this. So now we'll see how to reduce these lipids. But before getting into that, let me tell you briefly about what kind of lipids we have in the body. See, there is something called as lipoprotein. Lipoprotein. Now understand these things. The reason why the body has got lipoprotein is, imagine this thing. See, lipids are required for cell membrane formation. Our cell membrane is formed by lipid bilayer. When we read in cell physiology, we read it as lipid bilayer. What do you mean by that? You have two layers of lipids are there. Cholesterol ester is required. So lipids are required to form cell membrane. Second one, there are certain steroidal hormones are there, cholesterol-based hormones. Androgens, estrogens, progesterones, all of them are synthesized from cholesterol. So you need lipids. Third one, bile acids also synthesized from cholesterol. So whenever there is a requirement of cholesterol is there, these lipids should be carried through the blood and should reach at that region. What is blood made up of? Plasma and blood cells. Plasma, aqueous environment. Lipids, oily environment. Can lipid dissolve in plasma? No, it cannot, because oil and water are immiscible. To avoid the problem, lipids are converted to lipoproteins. So what happens is lipid will be like this, and it is surrounded with protein molecules. Proteins are made up of amino acids. Amine charge generation is there, acid charge generation is there. When there is a charge generation is there, they will become polaric in nature. These polar molecule can easily travel through blood. Because of that, we have lipoprotein generation is there. Even in that, when you see, it has got a core wherein you have all the lipids are there, and it has got a surface which is made up of hydrophilic molecule. In this core is made up of cholesterol esters and triglycerides. They are completely non-polar, they are not water soluble. Whereas the outer layer is made up of cholesterol, phospholipids, and proteins. You can see phosphate group generates charge, so it is water soluble. Cholesterol, OH group is there, little bit water soluble. Proteins, amino acid are there, water soluble. So this is how lipoprotein are. And these proteins which are surrounding this lipid molecules are known as apoproteins or apolipoproteins. They are responsible for the fates of lipoproteins. How the lipoproteins are metabolized, where they go, it's all depends upon apolipoproteins. This is a brief introduction about lipoproteins. What kind of lipoproteins you have in the body? When we take food, whenever we take food, if lipids are there, lipids will digest it, releases triglycerides and cholesterol, and the released triglycerides and cholesterol esters are packed together in the intestine. Those molecules are known as chylomicrons. Chylomicrons. Chyle means whatever the food we eat, we chew with the teeth, and it forms a kind of mass. The small food particulate mass is known as chyle. The size is in microns, hence it is known as chylomicrons. But remember, chylomicrons is the lipid source from the diet. Whatever the lipids we take, they will get converted into triglycerides combined with cholesterol esters, formed into a molecules called as chylomicrons. These chylomicrons will be getting into blood circulation. In the blood circulation, you have an enzyme called lipoprotein lipase. Understand that word. Lipoprotein lipase means it is acting on lipids and lipoproteins. Lipase means the fat, lipid will get metabolized. Now, these chylomicrons will get these apolipoproteins combined to form this molecule, becomes lipoproteins, will be moving in the blood. In the blood, they will get exposed to lipoprotein lipase. The job of lipoprotein lipase is it will act on triglycerides. Triglycerides will be releasing free fatty acids. So I told you chylomicrons is made up of triglycerides and cholesterol esters. So triglycerides, when get into the blood under the influence of lipoprotein lipase, is converted to free fatty acids. Now the fate of free fatty acids, either it will go to adipose or they will get into muscle. Why muscle? Because free fatty acids will undergo beta oxidation and release a lot of energy. Our muscle needs energy. The moment you walk, the moment you run, you'll be using skeletal muscles. They have certain amount of free fatty acids which will give you energy. Adipose is storage site for free fatty acids. The excess free fatty acids, what is not required by the muscle, will be getting stored into adipose tissue. When we eat too much of lipids, too much of adipose accumulation happens. And how much amount of free fatty acid gets into adipose? There is no limit. The moment you keeps on eating, the free fatty acid will keeps on increasing in adipose and people will become obese. Now, once this digestion has taken place, the remaining molecule is known as chylomicron remnant. Remnant means what is left over after this chylomicron. What is left over? Triglyceride amount is getting down, cholesterol. Now these chylomicron remnants will get into liver. They will get inside our liver. They will be getting into the liver. Now in the liver, all the chylomicrons will be taken up. In the liver, chylomicrons will be taken up and they are reprocessed. All of them will be broken down and individual lipids, cholesterol will be released. Now, liver is the organ which is making lot of lipoproteins. What happens is after metabolizing, it combines certain apolipoproteins, triglycerides, cholesterol, cholesterol esters, and releases a particle known as VLDL, very low density lipoprotein. Very low density lipoprotein. Now, this very low density lipoprotein gets into the blood. Again, in the blood, with the influence of lipoprotein lipase, the triglyceride content is reduced. When triglyceride content is reduced, it becomes intermediate density lipoprotein. It's all based on density. The moment you are reducing triglyceride amount, density decreases. Why triglyceride is getting reduced? Because of the user by using this lipoprotein lipase, which is present in blood. Now, after this intermediate density lipoprotein also reduces the triglyceride levels and it forms LDL, low density lipoprotein. Now, this LDL is called as bad cholesterol. Why it is called as bad cholesterol? Because LDLs will go and accumulate in the coronary blood vessel. The coronary artery disease is because of LDLs. Hence, it is called as bad cholesterol. Now, along with this, one more cholesterol molecule is there. It is known as HDL, high density lipoprotein. Now, high density lipoprotein is considered as good cholesterol because understand the function of all these lipoproteins. All of them are moving in the blood. What are they doing? They are releasing lipoproteins whenever there is a requirement is there. Free fatty acids will be getting into adipose and muscle. Cholesterols will be given to cell membrane or to synthesize bile or steroids. Their job is to give lipids from liver to extrahepatic tissue. Hepatic means liver, extrahepatic means other than hepatic tissue. Whereas HDL is opposite. Whatever the excess cholesterol is there from extrahepatic tissue, it takes that cholesterol, gets back into liver. So it is taking cholesterol from other tissues like blood vessel and everywhere, getting it back to liver, hence it is considered as good cholesterol. Now, how all these lipids will be taken back? Again, loading whenever there is a requirement of cholesterol in the liver. See, understand this thing. Liver also makes up cholesterol. It biosynthesizes cholesterol. Body also gets cholesterol from the food. There are two sources are there. External source from the diet. Internal source, liver will synthesize cholesterol. Now, when there is high requirement of cholesterol is there, when liver biosynthesis of cholesterol is not enough, what it does is it takes back this LDL by a receptor known as LDL receptor. So LDL molecules will bind with this receptor. They are internalized into the liver. From LDL, the LDL molecule is broken down and cholesterol is taken back. This is important in case of cholesterol metabolism. The major sources of cholesterol in the body is external and internal. External is through the diet. Internal is liver also biosynthesizes cholesterol. When liver do not have enough amount of cholesterol, it calls back this LDL through LDL receptor, breaks it down, gets its cholesterol. So this is about lipoprotein biology or biochemistry. This is what happens. Now, our main target in treating lipid diseases is to reduce LDL or to increase HDL. Remember, whenever you get a diagnostic test, when you see your lipid profile, what is need to see is LDL should be low, HDL should be high. The ratio should be high. Always you need to check for HDL by LDL ratio. That has to be high. That means HDL amount should be high, LDL amount should be low. If someone has got low LDL, if he has got low HDL, there is a risk. Always HDL should be more. Now getting back to anti-hyperlipidemic drugs. Now the first, yes?
Why only LDL like why not LDL?
VLDL, see the question is why VLDL, IDL is not getting deposited, only LDL is getting deposited. Simple answer, because of half-life. LDL stays in the blood for a longer period of time. The moment VLDL gets into the blood, it is converted to IDL. IDL has got two fates. In fact, IDL also gets back into the liver. 50% of IDL gets back into liver, 50% is converted to LDL. Again, the half-life, the span it stays in the blood is very small time. But LDL will stay in longer time in the blood. So it will get the probability of LDL to accumulate in the coronary blood vessel is most because of its T-half, long time, half-life. Now, anti-hyperlipidemics. The first class is known as HMG-CoA reductase.